Greetings humans. Today I'll be showing you how to make this moon. It's very simple, and I will be using different colours just so it's clearer for the recording. So let's put that one there so you can see it, and let's get started. Helps if I use the right colour first. So I'm using a 5 hook. I'll be using American terminology, even though I'm English. I know, sacrilege. Just simply because the crochet videos that I mostly watch have American terminology, so there it is. So what I'm doing is a slip knot. If you don't know how to do a wiggly version like I just did, you can do, so you wrap it around once and then it comes through like that, and then you just pull the bit you just put under, and that makes a slip knot. So what we're going to do is very simple. 1 chain, 2 chains, pull that second one tight so the first one doesn't open too much. I generally like to do another tight chain, so that's 3 chains overall, and only the first one is a normal looseness. And then I put my crochet hook in the first chain and do a single crochet, and I do, with this wool and this needle crochet hook, I will do, I think, 8 into that same hole to make a little circle. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Then I will put my crochet hook in the first back loop. I like to use the two back loops, and now I could either do a full circle or I could just do a spiral, and I'm not particularly fussed about how this looks initially, so spiral will do. So I put 2 stitches into that first stitch of the circle that I did, and again all the way around 2 stitches in each back loop space stitch. And to stop there being holes in once the thing is finished, this may be a bit, if you're a beginner, this may be a bit annoying to do, so feel free to ignore this, but quite often I will do my first stitch. If I'm doing 2 stitches to increase, I will do my first stitch through simply one of the loops like that, and then for my second stitch into the same stitch, I'll go through that one again, but I'll also go through the, I don't know if you can see the tiny stitch at the back there, it's just not really a stitch, but I go through both of those, and it just makes it neat, so there's no visible join, especially after you've stretched it out or blocked it. Quite often that's a good way to make sure your work doesn't look holey, although some people prefer that, and that's cool as well. Also what I'm doing is I'm just crocheting over the end of the slip knot that I did, but don't worry about that, it's not essential, you can sew it in later. So yeah, sorry I've been babbling, not keeping track of my stitches, but I think I've done 2 in each. don't do particularly fast crochet, but I do enjoy doing things slowly as well. So I'm going to my last stitch in that round, but it doesn't really matter if you missed by one or two, because you're only doing a spiral, you're not doing circles inside of circles, so it's all right. And so that's 2 rows, 2 rounds. Don't even know what I'm talking about. So for now I'm going to do 1 single crochet, then an increase in the next stitch, so that's 2 single crochets in the next 1 stitch, then 1 single crochet, then 2 in the next. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And I'm not going to count in these videos because I find it off-putting when other people do that in crochet videos. I'm like, I'm doing my own counting. I find numbers confusing enough. So I will just crochet in a piece. Where am I? Oh yeah, that's where the join is. A few more stitches to go. So this is a really imprecise scramble. So if you get it wrong, it really doesn't matter. This is beginner's freeform crochet, so it's just easy to get started. Right, so I have done, I think, all the way around. Yeah, looks like it. So maybe 1 stitch more and then that'll be all the way around. Oh yeah, and that's a double stitch, so okay, put another one through that last one. And the wonderful thing about freeform is you can do it by eye. So I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh, you need exactly so and so number of stitches for this. You don't. It's very organic and instinctive, and it's a bit like painting with wool, basically. So what I've done there is I've kept that stitch open. Now if you would like to, if it's less complicated for you, you can cut that and start again, but for me I prefer to just work from where I left off once I've done the moon shape, you know. So what I'm going to do here is in the next gap, I'm going to pop my needle, I keep calling it a needle, pop my crochet hook through there, then wrap that round and bring that through from the back to the front. That's great. And then, so that's not a proper stitch, that's just a loop right now. So we're gonna do a slip stitch, which is this, and pull that tight, and that just joins it like so. And then we're going to do a slip stitch, which is through the first and then through that one, no yarn over. So we're going to do another stitch, another slip stitch. So I'll show you again. In through that one, well, okay, yarn over there, but no yarn over there, just straight through, and that's a slip stitch. And then single crochets. So what I'm doing here is to get the increased fatness. I'm going to gradually increase the number of stitches and the height of the stitches. So those two slip stitches didn't need any increases. This first one, technically, because the angle of the stitch is going at more than a right angle from the main body of the work, technically, if you wanted to keep this round, you could do another one in the same stitch. You could increase there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually increase in the next stitch, because the way I have my tension and everything, I've just found that for me things sit prettier, they sit flatter if I wait until the next stitch to do the increase. I don't know why, it could just possibly be how I do it, but so you find what works for you, but this is certainly how it works for me. So now I have that 90-degree, I don't know if you can see that properly, yeah, that 90-degree right angle there, and that means I can just go ahead and do a single stitch in the next. So what I'm going to do is a half double, which is around, in through, again the back loop, doesn't matter if you do it both loops really, I just think it's neater through the back loop, and then under, around and through all three of them. And so we still have vaguely a right angle there, so the next one again is half double crochet. Let's do that one and see how that looks. Okay, so we have a steeper angle than a right angle there. Although, you know, if you hold it differently, you can sort of manipulate it. Do you know what? I'm going to leave that one. So that's 2 half doubles that we've done. Now what I'm going to do is a half double in this one, next one, and then I'm going to do a double in the same stitch, just because it looks smoother if you do it on an increase sometimes. You don't have to do it on an increase at all, but there you go. And then I'm going to do doubles until I feel like it needs to go in. So yes, that's starting to need an increase as well. So on the next one I'm going to do an increase. So double crochet, find the little back loop guy, double crochet twice into that one stitch, double crochet again into the next. How are we looking? So really I want to go to probably about this stitch if I want the crescent. So yeah, on this one I've left it, there's about an inch between the top and bottom of the crescent, so yeah, about there-ish somewhere. So I'm just judging it by eye, and that's probably another few doubles maybe, and then a couple of half doubles back to singles, and then slip stitches. So give that a go. yeah, let's do a half double into this increase, and then half doubles. See if we need another one or two. Yeah, I'll give another half double there, and then perhaps, do I need it? Oh yes, that's above 90 degrees. Yes, I'll put a single in with that half double on the increase, another single on the next stitch, another single, why not, and then we check it. Okay, that one could do with a slip stitch, and then another slip stitch. So there we have our little crescent moon. What I'm going to do now is little slip stitch not connected, pull that tight, and then, oh, I've forgotten my snippers. Then we just check which one's the long end. That's yeah. So we leave a nice long tail, because that's always quite handy to sew in when it's longer rather than shorter, because if you use it on a garment, if you use this particular scrumble on a garment, then you don't want the ends to stick out once it's been worn a bit or washed a bit. So okay, back to the blue, and just do single crochets around as much as you need to, increase as much as you need to. So now I've got to the slip stitch initially. I think before that slip stitch I need to increase there. And I think, you know, depending on how it turns out, on this one which I made yesterday, I actually did a half double before the slip stitch of the first moon stitch, so I just judged that it would be neater if it was a half double there. But for this one, my judgment is telling me no, it's fine with a single. So just see how you feel about it, and if you want to go back because you don't feel like you did it right or whatever, then just, you can frog it, which is just the loveliest thing about crochet, because it's not like knitting where you know, if you've done it wrong, you've really done it wrong and you know about it. This one, you can undo your mistakes, and I think crochet is forgiving in that manner. I like that. So yeah, I'll just do, again, I'm crocheting over the end, but I don't need to. You can sew them all in at the end if you like. So that is way more than a right angle. So in the next stitch I'm gonna do 2, one in the next, yeah, that's looking good. Let's see how we're doing. Maybe 2 in the next one. And then carry on. You don't want to do too many increases at this stage, or it will pucker and look a bit weird like that. You don't want that, so you want it to lay flat. So the right angle is a good rule of thumb, just to check. And you can make it look like a right angle, but generally if you just like manipulate the cloth a little bit, you can see whether or not it's gonna make a right angle. And I would say that one is just over, so it's like obtuse. So in the next one I will do an increase. And then poogle along with single crochet for a bit. Also, you don't necessarily want to do increases where there are increases in the row below, but sometimes it's just unavoidable. But if you do it too many times, it just looks weird. It doesn't look round, it looks pointy. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, to get rid of this end a little bit, I'm gonna just put my hook through and just crochet over that. You can crochet over both sides of it actually, and that's definitely an obtuse angle there, so I'm going to do that double in the next, not double crochet but double stitch, double single, no, that's confusing. 2 singles increasing in the next stitch. Got there in the end. Nice. Okay, so do I want to do a half double in this next stitch? I think I do, because it's quite a long way, even though that's just a slip stitch. That's quite a long way from there to there, so it might look a bit uneven if I don't do. So a half double is that, and then in the next stitch, perfect, and that goes like that. And that could do with maybe a single in the same hole, the same stitch. That's great. So we're nearly at the end. Couple of singles, maybe. Couple of singles, ready to mingle. Shush. Shush now. Does that need an increase? No, it doesn't. That's a right angle. That's fine. Carry on with the singles. And you see here, this is the stitch where I want to end it, not the stitch directly above where the crescent starts, but that stitch, because that is where there's a little sort of non-circular angle, and that, if I end it on that stitch, it'll be a circle. So that's my reasoning for wanting to end it there. So I've done singles up until that, and now I think what I want to do is slip stitches up to, and I'll get both back loops in there, slip stitch, and there you see that's nice and round, isn't it? So, and I'll just do a tighten off that slip stitch there at the end and snip, and there we have a lovely little crescent moon. So I hope that was helpful. Please do, if you would like to be helpful to me, Please do like, subscribe, all of those lovely kind things that you could do to help. And yeah, see you in the next video.